How we doing, everybody? DommyGun Rici here. Who Bangin Sports Talk. This is Light It Up. MLB bangers for a Saturday. Getting close to the end of the season. We talked about it yesterday. Playoff picture is starting to take form. There's still some things to be decided, but we'll go over that a little bit. Last night, Albert Pujols, 2 home runs to hit his 699th and then his 700th home run. Very cool. 42 years old. I believe he's the oldest player in baseball by like 6 months or something. I forgot who number 2 was, but be that as it may, 42 years old, been playing for 22 seasons. He has hit home runs off of 455 different pitches. That's a good little trivia question. Of course, we know it's Bonds, Aaron, Ruth. Bonds at 762 with the old asterisk. Number 4, which I forgot, Alex Rodriguez, 696. So it's kind of cool that he had never hit that 700th. Pujols, that's what it was. He also did that when he hit his 500th home run. He had 499 and 500 in one game, two-run game to do that. So I think there's 3 players that's done it for their 400th, 500th, and 6th, something like that. But I know Pujols has done it for his 500th, 2 home runs that game, and now 700. So very cool for Pujols. Been a powerhouse for a lot of years. What else happened last night? Judge didn't get the 61, and a lot of Yankee fans are happy over here in New York. I'm on Long Island, probably about 30 miles east of Yankee Stadium, probably not even 10 miles east of Citi Field. Mets, obviously. The Yankee fans were all upset because the game last night was on Apple TV, and they want their boy Michael Kay to be the one. First of all, they want their boy Michael Kay to be the one announcing the game, and he wouldn't be announcing the one on Apple. And the other thing is that not everybody has Apple TV. Let's face it. They were giving a free promotion. You got to sign up. All that nonsense. So I'm kind of glad. I mean, listen, as much as I'm a known Yankee hater, how could you hate Aaron Judge? I hope he hits it. It doesn't affect my Mets one way or another. And even if it did, that's a milestone for a player. I hope he hits it. It'll be cool for the fans, be cool for the Yankees. I'll tell you, Aaron Judge, there's something that tells me in the back of my head that he might not be a Yankee next year. I think what the Yankees' problem is going to be with him is not the price per year, but the amount of years. And it sounds that's the kind of way. I hear the Giants have made a bid for him. His favorite player is Barry Bonds. So every time he gets asked that Barry Bonds question, he answers it in a way where he avoids it, but he lets it be known that Barry Bonds is his favorite player. So Barry Bonds was quoted the other day saying that he would look good out in San Francisco in that uniform. And as I said before, he sure as hell would look good in Queens. That's for sure. I don't know if the Mets could afford a Judge. They're going to have to pay Alonso. It's not realistic, but just, we could all think and hope, right? So let's see. After that, we have something else happened last night. Well, Kimball's out as a Dodger closer finally. The Dodgers got shelled last night in 11-0. I took a late, just, a small bet. Everybody calls it pizza money. I call it like sausage and peppers money. I took it last night, booster they had on Bet Online for plus 360. Phillies win, Yankees win, and Dodgers win. So I did put a half a unit on the Cardinals, as the hedge when that third game was going off. But that 11-0 Dodgers won, like I said. How you doing, Eric? Glad you made it in. A couple games today on the card that we could, hit. I have 5 different bets. Last night wasn't bad. I'll tell you, all the games that we talked about that I said I wasn't betting, and a lot of us weren't betting. They all kind of came in last night. We were hot in the chat. We not as hot at betting the game. So you always got to remember we have those. It's not only that you pick the winner; it's how you bet sometimes and what you bet, and if you're limiting games and this and that. So anyhow. Last night wasn't a bad night. We hit that Brewers team total over, Mets team total over. I had the Yankees run line. They won 5-4. Should have had that over. We talked about it. Should have had it. I was saying how that right field porch and at 11 miles an hour out. Now, I don't even know how many, if anything, was hitting that right field porch, but it just seems to always being over when that wind is blowing out that way. Couple good games. My lean was the Giants under. I'm glad I didn't bet it. And my lean was the Dodgers run line. I'm glad I didn't bet it. But I did lose on the Yankees. And all right, I did stupid. I took a parlay last night. Guardians and the under. And it went Guardians over. It was a good price too. Should have split it. I usually don't do that. The end of the year, I've been playing more parlays for some reason. I don't know why. But anyhow, the playoff picture is heating up. We could talk about that quickly. Top 2 division winners get the bye. So let's see. In the American League, right now, the way it stands, I'll tell you what about the Guardians. They just took over the American League Central. White Sox are done. Twins are done. You got to shout out to the Guardians. They played like 17 games straight or something. Last day, 16 out of 17, something like that. I know there's a doubleheader in there. They've been winning. I'll tell you that team swept the White Sox. There's nothing you can't do. They might be a tricky team, man. Their pitching isn't bad. They got the bats. Those are one of those sneaky teams like the Nats were a couple of years ago. Could be, but I would think the Yankees get the bye, 92-58 right now. Houston obviously will get the bye. And then you'd have the third division winner host the third division wild card. So I would assume the third division winner would be Cleveland. And who would they play? It wouldn't be the White Sox. The White Sox wouldn't be in there. It's either Tampa Bay, either Toronto. I don't know, man. White Sox are at 76 and 75. Yeah, Toronto's 84 and 67. Tampa 84 and 67. And the Mariners, 82 and 68. So it could be the Mariners. That could be the matchup. Cleveland against Mariners, maybe, for that third game, for the division, for the LDS. Interesting. National League, we got the Mets is a bye. The Dodgers is a bye. And the Cardinals would be the third. Mets got 96 wins. Dodgers got the 104th win, not last night, the night before, on a Mookie Betts walk hit. It wasn't a home run, but it was a hit to drive in the winning run. And then we got the Brewers, the Braves. Okay, so the Braves obviously would be in there unless something happens with the Mets. I'm so happy, obviously, last night. Braves lose, which we talked about, that Nola was the better pitcher. And we talked about the Braves. They just have a little bit, not that they're bad at all, but they have a little bit of a low lately. The same way the Mets did, the same way the Cardinals have. So good morning, Ilio. Good to see you. DJ Big Boss off the marathon this morning is 2-hour pub college football. So we had a nice little DJ Big Boss gave me a nice little first quarter winner last night with Air Force. So that was good. That made up for one of the losses in baseball. Top said, tell me you got your plays today. So anyhow, get back to the playoffs. The Padres are kind of in it, but we know the Braves are in it. So it looks like the way it is it's going to be the Mets get the bye, the Dodgers get the bye. St. Louis will play the Braves in that first round for the LDS in the National League. That'll be listen. Obviously, that we know what the Braves have done. We could talk about it all day. But the Cardinals again late in the year. Last year they made that run, didn't go as far, but gotta like the Cardinals, man. They're in it every time. So we'll see what happens. So that's about it for the wild card. As far as the wild card game, it's the first wild card hosting the second wild card, which I didn't mention. So a game like that might be Philly against San Diego, or the Brewers. The Brewers 81 and 70, Philly 83 and 67. So some positions are still working out. Love to see the Phillies win today, but be honest, I bet against them today. I did take the Braves. I thought the Braves were at a good price. We'll get to that game. We'll run over these games quick. A lot of lineups weren't out again last night, and it's hard for me to cap the night before. I really got to do it in the morning because, especially this time of year, so many things have changed. Mid-year you could cap the night before. You almost know even before the lineups. Basically what the lineups are going to be. Except for maybe a couple players. So that's the case with that. We'll go over a couple games today. Let's see here. What were these power? I was looking at these power ratings this morning. They were pretty. Let's see if I can get them up again. They were pretty self-explanatory, though. They wasn't nothing that we didn't know already. Dodgers, of course, number one. Then the Braves. Then the Yankees. Astros number 4. I don't know if I agree with that, but they have Dodgers number 1, Braves number 2, which I agree with. Yankees number 3, Astros number 4. I don't know about that. Blue Jays number 5. I guess I would reverse that with the Yankees, Astros. Blue Jays number 5, Mets number 6, Padres number 7, Cardinals number 8. I don't agree with that either. I would put the Cardinals in front of the Padres. And then they got the White Sox and the Phillies. And the White Sox, then they got the Rays after that, which a team I forgot to mention in the wild card race. So I don't really agree with those damn power ratings. They're so subjective. So they're so subjective. We know that, right? So let's hit some games. First game we're going to hit today is the Pittsburgh-Chicago. I was on Pittsburgh yesterday. Oh, no. First game we're going to hit is First game we're going to hit is Boston and the Yankees. Pivetta against Jamon. Listen, Jamon hasn't pitched that much this year. What is he? He's gone 2-3, 5 overs, 5 overs, 5 unders, 3.52 WHIP at home. 3.252 ERA, 1.127 WHIP at home. His overall ERA was 3.12. Jamon, we know what he's been doing this year. He's been hurt. He came back. I thought he was going to pitch a lot better when he came back. He's given up almost 4 hits a game. He's given up, let's see. No, that was over 4 hits. I thought so. 4.33 hits a game. He's averaging his last 10. What is he averaging? 1.67 earned run. He's not pitching a lot of innings. I've been looking at this last 10 average for these starting pitches, and trying to and using that as been trying to use different stats, especially talking about it when we're doing shows, because everybody always talks about the same same analytics and stuff. Try to throw out some stuff that's a little bit different that could be meaningful. His last 10 games, which obviously he's been pitched. How many did he pitch total? Take a look at that. But 5 innings, averaging 5 innings, 3.2 strikeouts, not many walks, only one walk, a little bit over 1 walk, and almost 1.5 earned runs. So that's not too bad, but pitched 72 innings. Pivetta, but he does give up hits, and he does give up runs, Jamon. And I like this over today in this game. Pivetta. What's Pivetta on the road? 13-5-5 was his. He started 30 games this season. He was 10-11. He has 3.89 ERA on the road, 1.176 WHIP on the road. Pivetta, his last 2 games, he pitched. His last 2 games, 18 2/3 innings, 8 walks, a 9.64 ERA in those games versus the Yankees. These are the numbers versus the Yankees. 18.23 innings, 20 earned runs, 8 walks, 9.64 ERA against the Yankees this year. That's not too good, man. The Red Sox are hitting righties. Let's see, batting .768 versus righties. Their last 3 games, they've been on base percentage has been high. It's like in the top 5 or something. The last 3 or 4 games, the Red Sox. So the over is how I would look at this game. But I did not bet it yet. I was trying to keep my bets down today, but Jesus, that's always so hard to do. Next game, Braves at Phillies. I did take the Braves today. Kyle Wright, we know he's a ground ball pitcher. He's 3.18 ERA, 3.66 though on the road in September. He's a ground ball pitcher. We know that, and if he's not getting those ground balls, he's getting runs scored off him. But I do think he's the better pitcher. Falter was pitching okay. I know Falter's is a guy whose release point is really close. There's a stat for that because he's a tall guy. So when he releases the ball, it's supposedly closer than other pitchers. And it's one of those stats that I hear guys talk about, and I just don't know if that matters so much. It did. I guess it mattered at the beginning of the year when Falter first came on the hill. He wasn't doing bad, but this is a tough spot for him. Even he's let's see what he's done. 10 strikeouts in his last 16 innings, and that was most of those games are probably in September and August. But that's not what we're looking for. 10 Ks in the last 16, especially against the Braves team. The Braves lost last night. The Braves haven't been winning. I think this is a good spot for the Braves. The price was only minus 130, and that's not bad for a Braves team. I know it's on the road, division game. They lost last night. I would love the Braves to lose, but we're talking about gambling. We're talking about sports betting, and I recommend the Braves, and that's who I bet. The next game up is a game I'm not on at all. And Alcantara is pitching. I wasn't sure last night what this matchup was going to be. They announced Fetty, and then it sounded like they might not. That might be the way. I did not have this chance to see the lineup. Alcantara has done well against the Nats. I mean, it's hard to go against them, but look at this price. Let's see about Sandy. He's averaging 6.27 strikeouts a game. So maybe a K-prop could be in order. He's recording almost 22 outs a game. Let's see. He's allowing under 6 hits a game. I mean, 1.87 ERA. Last 10, he was pitching a lot of innings. His last couple of games, listen, they were just working them, especially up until the All-Star break. But his last 10 games, he's averaging little over 6 innings, 6 2/3, almost 5.5 strikeouts per 6 innings average. I mean, what more do you want than that? 2.7 walks, 7.2 hits. So, we know about Sandy. I mean, Fetty pitched one good game, of course, against the Mets that he looked like he was going to be a Cy Young pitcher as good as he pitched that week. That series, the Mets lost against Corbin, and then the next night against Fetty. Both pitchers haven't pitched well since then. Just one of those hiccups by the Mets, a little bit too many. So I'm off this game. I don't know if anybody else is on this game, but I am off this Nationals. These games now with these Nationals, Marlins, like I mentioned before, Chicago, Pittsburgh, these kind of games, a lot of players are playing. These managers want to see if they have something for next year, if they have somebody they could trade away. Some guys are playing for some incentives. So we don't know who's getting in, why a pitcher might be, again, they want to see if this pitcher has anything. They really didn't use them too much. Maybe in the pen, they'll bring guys that they normally wouldn't bring in. So it's hard for me to cap those type of games. I'm just trying to concentrate mostly on the teams that are fighting for something, but you just never know. And you think that teams aren't going to be fighting sometimes that are a bad team, but they do. But when it's bad against bad, that's different. When you see that bad team against a good team, like we've seen with the Mets their last series, before they went on that 7-game win streak, they were losing. They lost on games against the Pirates, against the Cubs. So you see that happening. But the next game I have up after the Marlins is the Mets. What am I going to say about the Mets? Minus 360. We're up 2.5 games now. Big win last night for us. But we should have. We should beat Irwin. I mean, I had the team total over. And tonight DeGrom is pitching. The Mets lately have been hitting for him, which notoriously wasn't the case. I didn't know what to do with this game. I was going to go with the team total over, but I thought the safest bet was over 6.5, minus 118. The Mets could get that alone. I wouldn't even mind a bet like even a 2.5 run line. The minus 1.5 line is just too juicy. I mean, I'm not betting anything. Guys know I don't bet like that anyhow. So there's no sense even going into it. But the bet's now up to minus 400. That is ridiculous. And it's almost like we talk about pizza money sometimes. It's almost worth it throwing it on Oakland. I just don't bet like that. But, plus 315, Jesus. But it is against DeGrom. The total has dropped from 7 to 6.5. And I know it's a under park, but this kid Wilder Chuck, he's not good. What am I gonna say? There's not really much to say about him. He's letting up 3.5 earned runs a game. He don't have much to go on. His last 4-game average, he's he's new, right? So his last 4-game average, he's only gone 4 innings, striked out 4 for 4 innings, but let up 5 hits, let up 3.5 earned runs. So, like I said, the Mets team total probably isn't a bad bet either, over 4.5. But I went with the 6.5. Mets seem to always, Mets seem to always make some blunders against these bad teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a 5-3 type game or a big blowout like 7-3, 7-4 type game for the Mets. But I can see Oakland getting 2 runs, 3 runs, and that's probably all I would need is that to happen. So the Mets over 6.5, minus 118. Next on the bump, there's a couple of games we'll just not even go into. Let's see. Well, this Chicago-Pittsburgh was one of the games. Miley against Oviedo. Miley's another one that we thought was going to start pitching better, and he was pitching better. And then the last couple of games, not so much. I believe his last game was wasn't his last game against the Mets? And he, I could go and look that up. And he got tagged, but I don't want to spend too much on this game. What do I have for? I would guess he's the better pitcher. So runs could be scored in this game like last night. Maybe the weather would help out in that situation. Let's see. That's what we'll do. We'll pull up the weather for this game. See if we could get Chicago, Pittsburgh, wind 7.4 miles per hour, which is not like I always say, really wind once you get into like that, 12, 13, 14, 15 and over. It really matters. 12 and over, something like that, at least 10. But it's only 7. But it is blowing out to left field. It is in Pittsburgh. No humidity, no rain, blah, blah, blah. Good, I guess good hitting weather. If you wanted me to recommend something, I would probably recommend the over in this game. I couldn't take either team. So that's the way it is. Next game we'll do is next game up is the Blue Jays. The frustrating Blue Jays. I know a lot of our friends are Blue Jays fans. I'll tell you, they are. Eric, you like the Cubs run line? Listen, Miley's the better pitcher for sure. Like I said, there could be runs hitting out. The pitcher for Pittsburgh, I don't blame you. What price did you get? Because I see a minus 106 for the Cubs. I didn't see a run line. I don't have that page up, but I will be rooting for you for sure. The next game, like I was saying about the Blue Jays, our friends, man, our Blue Jay friends, I feel sorry for them because this Blue Jays could have took this division from the Yankees at one time. We talked about it yesterday, and we all know why. So, good morning, Jay Peasy. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll do the late show. The late show. That shows you my age if someone knows what the late show is. 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing the late games, me and DJ Big Boss and some guests. We will be doing the second, either it's called the bailout games, the second games of the day, or it's called the adding on to your winnings from the first game. So it's been cool what we've been doing, and we've been picking up steam with that. So it's been fun. So tomorrow at 3:30, join us on Who Bangin Sports Talk. Today, Alex Manoah, I thought he was going to pitch yesterday, and he got put off, and he got pitched today. And I did have him capped for yesterday's game, but he's the better pitcher. I did like Springs, but today I do like Manoah. I think the Toronto is a bet on team today. They sure as hell need to win there. We were talking about, wild cards and stuff. They need these wins. And the Yankees have been winning again. So just gonna lock up that division. They locked up the playoffs on Friday, I think. So or Thursday night or Friday night, they locked it up. So I did take Toronto minus 105. I think they had a play today. It's one of my favorite bets. Eric got plus 160 on the run line. That's a good bet for the Cubs. That's you take the shot with them. If you're gonna take a shot in that game, that's the way to do it. If you hit it, hit that plus 160. If you notice, I never play those minus one lines. I know Jimmy's big on them. I never even heard of that. I heard it until Jimmy and Pete started talking about it. I almost feel like they invented it because back in the SBR days, we never even heard of it. And they were kind of talking about it, about taking the way it works. And then they just started calling it the minus one line, and it kind of caught on. And, I see other people, other shows, other cappers using it. So that's pretty interesting, but I don't like the bet. I think it's kind of like a hedge bet. Something I want to do a show about all these kind of bets and stuff. Have a conversation, have all of us in there. We'll do it one night on Who Bangin', do one of our shows, talk about handicapping, the minus one line, how you feel about first fives. Like I talk about, I think the minus half first five, which is the bet we all take every once in a while. I think it's probably one of those shittiest bets in baseball, and even that plus 1.5 line is just not a positive type of EV type, which is not really my type of, talk and not my type of capping, but I just think those plus 1.5 lines. And then, of course, if you see stats like the Baltimore at the beginning of the year, on those crazy runs with that, but these are bets I don't like. I'd love to talk about that one night because maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we could decide what. I have a lot of those things. I don't bet over minus 140. I don't like betting minus run lines. If I do, I try to keep it at under minus 120. And I seem to, every time I take that minus run line, I seem to lose. I did it last night with the Yankees minus 115, I think it was, or I forget what the hell it was, but it lost. Yankees win the game 5-4. That's why the run lines, I'd rather have the plus money like Eric's doing. But Toronto, listen, I like Manoah. Go all into the stats and stuff. We all, at this part of the year, we know that the pitchers that are doing well. I just like this. Sometimes I like this. I write down some stuff that maybe wasn't out there too much. Manoah, let's see. Last 10. What's he doing here, this guy? He's averaging for the year almost 6 strikeouts. He's averaging for the year. He has 14. He has 14 wins. 4.76 hits allowed. 1.69 earned runs allowed. Last 10, 6 innings. So he's pitching 6 innings the last 10 games. 5.8 strikeouts to 2.2 walks. So he's not been pitching, but earned runs 1.9. It's almost 2 earned runs. So he's been pitching good. He's the better pitcher. We're going with Toronto tonight on this. I was hoping we were going to get Noli in today. I sent him a link this morning, but it's hard for him sometimes on Saturday, working and stuff. But we will definitely get together. Since I was going to talk to about this to DJ later, we'll plan it won't be this week, so we'll plan it in like 2 weeks, so we have enough time to promote it and have enough time for everybody to be on. I got to figure out what night we could do it, and we'll have like a good playoff show, live show. See who anybody wants to come in and talk about who they like in the playoffs, and we'll do that kind of show. It'll be fun. Like I say, anybody ever wants to come in with me and do a show, jump in the football show, the baseball show, even for 10 minutes or so, you're welcome. You drop me a DM at Dom541 on Twitter, and I'd be glad to, we'll figure it out. We'll get you in. And on my email, Dom, DOMRICI, which is actually, if everybody don't know, that's a shortened version of my last name. It's Rici. No one could ever pronounce it with the way it's spelled. So I went with Rici in business and on here. But it's DOMRICI. The number is 57 at Gmail. That's a email you guys could use anytime you want to ask me something, you want to talk about something, you want to come on the show. If you guys don't have Twitter, So which I'm sure most everybody has. I don't think many people have just seen me on YouTube channel, but you just never know. Rocco, how you doing this morning, man? Good to see you. Thank you for that. Hit the likes. Yeah, the old hit the likes, the subscribe thing. If everybody don't know that by now, right? It's funny how, but it's true. It does help some way. The whole YouTube thing is just a weird animal. I could go into that another time, but it's just a strange. It's strange what's on here. It's strange in different communities. Some communities you would never think of. But it's growing with the sports betting. But Twitter, I read an article that Twitter grew in the last 2 years 300% in the sports betting and gambling section of Twitter. So it's times 3 is what it was 2 years ago. Which to some people that might not sound a lot, but I think it's a lot, because if it grows like that again in the next couple years, and listen, guys like us, man, we've been doing this for a long time. We're really like at the forefront of something that's really grown big. And, we don't think of it like that sometimes, but we are. Next game, Houston, Baltimore. Valdez, how many quality starts was that he has in a row? It's an amazing number. Of course, I don't remember nothing unless I write it down. And I always have papers everywhere. Astros, Valdez, 25 consecutive quality starts. I didn't even realize that. That didn't even dawn on me that's how good he has pitched. And I heard someone say it this morning. I didn't even find that when I was capping it. I heard somebody say that this morning, and I was pleasantly surprised. Let me just, as I was looking up the money here, the run line, let's see here. I want to get Eric to see what if they're betting his run line. Yeah, that run line, 35% of the bets, Eric, are on that run line, but 69% of the cash. So you're in good company as far as, how we distinguish, which I think is changing, shops and public. And, I was never a big, shops guy and stuff. And I'm starting to believe us smaller players, us guys that have been at this for so long, are the real shops. Because we're on the games that 25 quality starts. Yeah, Rocco, that's amazing. But anyhow, I'll go with that another time. Giving us some props. We could be the shops too, right? But yeah, for Eric Jones, 69% of the handle on that. So that's you're in good company for that Chicago Cubs game. So which game will we talk about? The Astros. Yeah, Astros still the best other team in baseball. We talked about it yesterday. To me, it's amazing, because after that, it's like the Tigers, it's the Athletics. The next 4 or 5, the Orioles. The next 4 or 5 underneath the Astros are all teams that nowhere even close to winning this year. So it's the way they do that, they hold teams down and they produce those 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. It's amazing. The Astros are going to be the team again to beat this year. Let's face it. For the Yankees to get by the Astros would be a feat, I think. It's just that how else can you say it? Wells for the So anyhow, with this Astros game, I guess the team total. You can look at a team total over, but they're minus 210, so their run line isn't going to be. Their run line is what? Houston minus 185 is the run line. Oh no, yeah. 72% of the bet, 79% of the handle. Wow, I just can't bet like that. They have an estimated score of as the 5-3. So, I guess I went betting over on Houston. So I don't even know why I'm spending time on this game. Wells isn't no good. Let's see. There was one thing. Yeah, Baltimore versus lefties are probably one of the worst, if not the worst, in strikeouts, in on-base percentage, in ISO and all those damn analytics. Baltimore, which was rising, once it hit September, they just fell away. So I guess, the Astros, how you want to play them, if you want to play this game. That's about all I could tell you about that game. Milwaukee, Cincinnati. Now, this is a game I'm on this game. Listen, Burns has given up some hits. Burns has given up some home runs. What I did want to check quick is the weather again. I checked it last night. And I put these bets in probably about an hour before and forgot to check again, but I don't think it's going to make it too much of a difference. Blowing out to left field, a little bit under 7 miles an hour. Listen, Ashcroft is pitching. He had some glimpses of pitching good at the beginning of the year, but he's not been good as of late. There's some stats against him that are pretty horrendous. We know about Ashcroft. We know what he does. Burns, too. Burns is a good pitcher. Milwaukee's been hitting the ball. Milwaukee needs these games. It's just Milwaukee's just a team for me, like the White Sox, that I don't trust. They're just a fraud team. Wells is scratched, Rocco? Jeez, I didn't even see that. Yes. Yeah, Rocco, that's the money line, the minus 185, yeah. You're looking at a Framber's K-prop. You're waiting on the lineup. Yeah, that was a problem today, too, with that game and a couple of games. I didn't know Wells was scratched. I didn't get back to that part yet. Let's see who they have here. Did they change it here? Now I just switched to covers to see what they have. Yeah, I didn't even catch it. They got Mike Bauman pitching. But we know about Framber. We know how good he is. It's still the cap don't change really for that game as far as I'm concerned. Milwaukee, Burns against Ashcroft. I took this game. I took it last night. I took the team total over, and we had the over. We talked about it on Jimmy's show, the 8.5, and it went up to 9 yesterday. But today I took Burns is off that bad start against the Mets is what I was thinking about in my head. But Ashcroft off that 15-day disabled. His last, let's see, he hasn't pitched in a month. He's been letting up base hits, home runs against bad teams too. If you look up his the teams he's been pitching against, sometimes I can't even read my own writing. If you look at the teams he's been losing against and letting up a lot of hits and home runs, you can see he has control issues. And I don't see why the Brewers wouldn't just pound this game today. The price I didn't like. I got to go to the prices here. The price I see now is minus 210. I can't obviously bet that. The total did drop from 8 to 7.5, but the Brewers could get seven out of those runs themselves. And Burns has been letting up the home run a little bit lately, so I did like the over in that game. I took it over 7.5 minus 115, and I took the team total over 4.5 minus 120. So that's how we're going to play that game, the Brewers game. I think it's a big game for them. I think they've been hitting. I think Ashcroft is the perfect guy to go against. So that was my double up game was the Brewers. That's what I'm on. Next, we got Cleveland and Texas. Cleveland just wins. They played, 17 games or so in a row, or 16 out of 17. I know there's double headers in there. They just keep winning. They took over that division. They just left Minnesota and the White Sox behind. And the White Sox, I talk about the Brewers. I equate the White Sox that way too. They just you think they're going to start doing something. They're always the sexy pick at the beginning of the year, and again, like last year, they start doing well. Better last year in the late run, but not this year. The Guardians just took control, and since the All-Star break, they might be the hottest team in baseball between them and the Braves. If you look at it. The Guardians and the Braves, every day it's a win. It's just amazing. As a Met fan, the saving grace for me really was that the Mets played the Braves well. So that's That's a big thing. I mean, we all knew that even as good as the Mets were doing at the beginning of the year, we all knew this wasn't going to be no cakewalk at the end. So, but I digress. Always back into Metland, Cleveland, Texas. Listen, I'm off this game. Otto's is a gas bag. I mean, Cleveland could get their could get on a Cleveland could beat this, could go over this 8 runs really themselves, but and Cleveland is 126. I just been hitting them, wetting them every night, and I just held off with this game. It's like one of those things that I hit one of these early. If I hit this early game, and not even that. I'll tell you, maybe if the Braves win, I might double that back up with this game. But what can I say about the Guardians? They're just such a great team. Quantrell is pitching. He's another one pitching well for his team. Yeah. I mean, Otto, we know about Otto, how bad he is. Let's see. They keep winning. Otto's last start, 3 1/3 innings, let up 2 home runs. Quantrell, last 3 starts, did give up last 3 starts he did give up 8 runs, but he does have a 13-5 record. And listen, he's been pitching good. His last 10 have been let's see. His last 10. Let's see his pitching splits. His last 3, he's 2-0. He's 5. He's for the year 13-5. Like I said, 8-0 at home, 3-5 away, 6-2 in the daytime, 7-3 at nighttime. So it doesn't matter where he's pitching. His last 3 ERA is 3.63. His ERA away for the year, 3.71. So I can see runs scored in this game. Guardians team total might not be a bad bet. I really kind of passed by this game, and I'm liking it more and more. But like I said, I'm going to hold off and wait. Try not to bet too many games today. We'll see how it goes. It's like if I win, I'll double it up, that kind of thing. But how could you not like the Guardians today? And like I said before, that's going to be an interesting matchup if we see in the playoffs with the Guardians hosting that wild card, the third wild card team. Interesting matchup could be in that series. So who do we got next? We have. Let's see. Who do we have next? We have Seattle, Kansas City. Logan Gilbert, his innings are adding up. I love Logan Gilbert. I think he's a great pitcher. Seattle needs this game. They're still in the hunt. They haven't been playing great. They were doing really well after the All-Star break. I said they were a team to bet on after the All-Star break, but we noticed a little downplay in the last couple weeks, week or two. They need this game tonight. I think he's the better pitcher. His last 5 starts, no home runs in his last 5 starts. His last 2 starts, 6 innings, 11 Ks, total. 6 innings, 11 Ks, 1 earned run. Okay, his last start was 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, 1 earned run. His start before that, that's what I was trying to tell you what his last 2 starts were. His starts before that were 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. He's pitching great. Let's see. What can I tell you about? Bubic. There's not much to say about him. Like a lot of the Royals pitches, they start to fade away a little bit. Versus those lefties, yeah. Seattle in general versus those lefties, they have analytics. They're up there in they about average with their OPS in the league, but they're like their ISO, and I forgot the other one. They're like in the top 15. So, they're right there, Seattle. They're right there in that mix. Logan Gilbert is the better pitcher for sure. And minus 180 is a tough price. The total is at 8. If anything, I would probably lean Seattle team total over in that game. I should have put up those lines there. That was my fault. I'll see if I can get to him. Yeah, I would think that that might be a good way to go. The line's a little bit too high. I don't know if anybody. You won the first 5 Seattle and full game. That's how you played it, Rocco. What line did you get for the first 5? I wouldn't mind putting those together, man. Almost as a parlay. That's See, that's good. I like that, Rock, because you're not afraid to play those high, those minus 180s and stuff. And I shouldn't use the word afraid. You like to play them. You find a way to play them that works for you, and that's great. That's what I like to always talk about. There's just so many different ways. Like I try to keep my straight bets minus 140 or under, but that works for me. And and I don't play a lot of dogs either because that doesn't work for me. I'm in that range in that minus 105 to minus 120 range. I mean, a lot of my bets are in that range. It just seems to be that's the way I cap, I guess. It's funny how you lean that way. Minus 130 for the first 5 is a good price. I mean, you got the better pitcher by far, and I don't blame you for it because if you win that bet, the minus 180, it's kind of, one is almost helping the other pay for the other in case that would lose. But I like that bet. Good luck with that. I'll have that. I wrote that down. I wrote down the games you guys are playing so I could look and see if during the night. Okay, here we go. I'm back on. Always on Saturday, I have a little bit of a hard time with the internet. I don't know. I'm in New York. I guess I don't know why it's on Saturday, but everything seems to take a while to load up. I was trying to see if there's any line movements on any of these games that we talked about. I don't really see much difference in the last half hour or so that we've been on. Seattle. I see the first 5. Let's see what BetOnline has on the first 5. That's an interesting bet. Would you take it last night? Minus 130, full game. Oh, okay. First 5. I'm on run line minus 105. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because the game was minus 180. That's great. That's a good one. And the Seattle Mariners team total over 4.5 is minus 120. That's not a bad bet either. So good luck with that. That's a game that, what time does that start? That's a 7:10 game. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that game. Like the Guardians, that game is on my radar. Next game up. We only got a few left. Next game up. What should we talk about? The Twins, the fading away Twins. I guess they got the better pitcher. Not guessing, he's a better pitcher. Ryan is the better pitcher. But I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this game again. The Angels have been playing better ball for the Angels. They still went nowhere. We got Reed Detmers pitching for the Angels. Let's see what we got here for Mr. Reed. Let's see. He's averaging 4.83 strikeouts a game. His last 10, 5.1 innings average, 6 strikeouts. But earned runs, almost 2 earned runs. He pitched 95 innings. And his pitching splits on the road. Let's see. Away. 3-2 away. 4.13 ERA. Detmer's last 3 games overall ERA is 5.28. And this is also in the daytime, 2.30. At nighttime, his ERA almost doubles to 4.12. Interesting. So, what do we have here? This is the game I'm off, but I wouldn't mind taking. I would take the Angels at the plus price. What are we seeing now? I see plus 116 over here, and I see on BetOnline plus 118. If I was going to take a dog, I would go against Ryan today. I know he's the better pitcher, but I just don't. The Twins are just not winning, and they're a team that's just, I think, is just fading away. So I'm off of that team for sure. We talked about this Toronto. We talked about Nats, Cubs. We talked what's on this page: Yankees, Braves, Mets. Get rid of that sucker. Angels, Detmers, Ryan. Yeah, I just basically what my notes were. Like the Twins are a big disappointment. Um, they just versus lefties. Twins. Okay, so Twins are a little bit better against lefties, but I can't say shit about this game. How about that? Off this game, LA, Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, another team, the White Sox that we can go on and on with. Uh, who I don't, I mean, I'm not on this game whatsoever. I don't like this game. The White Sox have seemed to do what they always do. Think they're gonna take it away, and then they don't. Uh, of course, Hutchinson. Let's see, another pitcher. I guess maybe you could. I don't know. I say the word over, but I don't even trust these damn White Sox. I'm off this game. I don't know if anybody else is on this game. Uh, let's see what I could tell you about Hutchinson. Last 10, another one, 5 in. All these pitches, man, 5 innings is their average. 5 innings is their average. It's just so funny how years ago, 7, 8 innings was in. The guy went 6, 7 innings. It wasn't considered a good start. It was he would have more complete games than ever. It was so funny. Now a complete game is a big deal. What was I back at Hutchinson? 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, average, almost 2 walks, 2.55 ERA, or earned runs. I like to look at that a lot. I mean, strikeouts and walks, 3.3 strikeouts, 1.7 walks, average in the last 10. That's a sign right there. So off this game also, let's see. What else we got. San Diego, Colorado. I'll tell you, if you're going to take a dog today, why not take a shot with the Rockies plus 180? Darvish has not pitched well in Colorado, and the Rockies actually got to Darvish last time they played him, and that was in San Diego. And we know the Rockies don't hit well on the road, so it's an interesting look. The Rockies are plus 180. Chad Cole is pitching 5.18 ERA, but has 6 Ks. Has 6 last 2. Okay. His last start went 6 innings, gave up 5. Darvish, ERA over 5 in Coors Field. Okay, that's why I had that mixed up with his overall numbers. In Coors Field, he has over a 5 ERA. The Rockies had 3 earned runs and 2 homers. He led up when the Rockies played the Padres at San Diego. So they've gotten the Darvish before. I had something written about Cole. What was his last 2 games or against the lefties? He did pitch well against. He had a good. He had 7 Ks against the Braves, and then he had 6 Ks and 5 Ks his last 2 starts. Then he had 7 Ks against the Braves. So he hasn't pitched bad. Chad Cole, but it's the Rockies. But the Rockies at home, and when they do their damage, it is at home. And a plus 180. It's not such a bad price. I mean, I'm not going to take the Padres minus 215, even though this is such it's a must game for the Padres. But like I said, some pitchers have bad spots. In some spots, it's bad for them, and seems like Coors and Darvish do not mix. What is a team total over? Now this is crazy. The Padres team total over is 6.5. I don't think I've seen a 6.5 this year. It's rare to see 5.5. I don't know. Has anybody seen a 6.5 this year as a team total? They have that plus 101 over 6.5, under 6.5 minus 131 for the Padres team total over. Wow. And the Rockies plus 115 over 4.5. That's not such a bad look if you don't want to take that Rockies plunge at plus 1. Gee, now it's 190. Listen, on paper, we could talk about the Padres. I think Soto did something. Yeah, he hit his 30th home run last night. Yeah. But what happened in that game last night? What were the What were the statistics for that? Let's go back. They lost to Colorado in 10, 4-3. Well, I mean, we knew they lost, but I didn't realize it was in 10 innings. Rocky scored that run in the end. Let's go to the let's see what happened here. Juan Soto hit his home run. Manaya, 3.2 innings he pitched last night, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, and they were all earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. One was a home run. That was Mr. Sean Manaya. And Feltner last night, which we talked about this Rocky team yesterday too, actually, but not that any of us took him. Feltner, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So Rockies won last night. Can they do it again tonight? Sure. Why couldn't they? If you were going to tell me, Dom, pick one dog today, this is a dog I'm picking. Rockies plus 190 right now. I do think the better, safer bet is the Rockies team total over. You're getting plus 115 on Bet Online. I'm sure it's pretty close to that wherever you're using. I'm looking to use another book. I stopped using my locals over a personal reason. Somebody I was with too, that local I was with for like 15 years, over them wanting to collect a debt over a friend of mine that passed away, which it wasn't so much that they wanted the money, it's that the way they approached his wife, and it was only like a few weeks later, it turned into a big thing. I went out of my mind about it. Ended up paying half of it because I know the guy that was doing it was on a 50 sheet. So I told him to shove it up his ass, and I paid the other half for it. It was only a couple $1,000. Wasn't the point of the money. But that's why, with these locals sometimes. But I'm looking to, I know another local out of state that I might start using. But my question was going to be, I know sometimes I go rambling off into tangents. Is what sports book do you guys use? What do you use, Rocco, if it's not a local? What do you guys, Eric, I'm not sure who's still in the chat, but what do you guys use? Because I've been looking at BetUS, and they look pretty good. I use Bet Online, by the way, which is good. I have no problem with it, but I know it's still offshore. I never changed. I'm not particularly a fan of FanDuel. I don't like their lines a lot of times. I don't like the discrepancy in between the lines. I don't know what you guys use, but let me know. Leave comments. Let me know what you guys think about these books and which ones you use. We'll incorporate that in the show with the handicapping. We'll talk about what sports books. We'll do that in 2 weeks. We'll do playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about handicapping. Maybe we'll do that as a separate one. We'll talk about that. Okay, I got you, Rocco. I mean, I'm in a legal state now, but in New York, but it hasn't been long, and I was already on Bet Online, so I wasn't going to stop. And I just been checking out different ones. That BetUS looked pretty good. I know some guys are with Bookmaker now. I've always read bad things about them. When I was looking up this site that like kind of rates them, and they don't have good things to say about Bookmaker, but that's different people like different things. Like somebody said to me they didn't like one of the sites because of their graphics. For a guy like me, I could give two shits about that kind of stuff. All I want to know about these books is it easy to deposit? Is it easy to get your money out? Do they give it to you right away? Do they, are there limits? Not that I'm any kind of big better that a limit would probably hit me, but I'd like to know if they, what kind of players they're going after, if they're willing to, I like a sports book that'll take the little guys, the big guys, that they're not afraid to take the bets. So those are things I'm more worried about, and what bets they do take, and if their lines are consistent with everybody else's. As far as graphics and layouts, I mean, that could get annoying, and I understand that, but it's not a reason for me not to like a book unless it's really bad. So, Bovada, I used to play poker on Bovada way back in the day, during the poker boom, the full tilt poker days, which I ended up losing about $100 something on that stupidness. Thank God that's all I had in there. I never put a lot of money in those sites. I used to do like 100, 150 at a time because I never trusted to. And if I won whatever I get, take it out. I wasn't gonna like leave it in there and like say at 500 or 1,000 cash out. No, because you never knew. It was still online, right? So, okay. So San Diego, Colorado. Like I said, I'll take a shot with the Colorado. Their team, I would recommend team total over, and I'll tweet it out any plays that I don't. I'll give you my 5 plays again, and I'll tweet out if I play anything else. Next game is the Giants against Arizona. I like Merrill Kelly. Alex Cobb isn't bad. This game went over last night. I was leaning with the under. I'm glad that I didn't bet it. It was one of my leans, like I said, like the Dodgers were. Let's see. Do I have anything on this game? Cobb on the road, 5.16 ERA. Kelly's last 3 starts. Yeah, that's what I was going to. I like Kelly. He's a good pitcher. He's pitched well all year, but I think he's getting a little tired. I think his innings might be mounting up. I didn't look at his comparison last year to count to this year, but I see he has some control issues lately. He hasn't been pitching well. His stats kind of say that. His last 3 starts, 7 homers. His full season numbers are better than Cobb, but if I had to lean anyway, I would lean the Giants today if I was going to bet this game, but I didn't. I don't know if anybody else has a lean on this game. The total is 7-5. I would recommend it over. I wouldn't go under. Yesterday, I thought that maybe it would go under. I thought maybe the Giants bats after sweeping Colorado, which I was on all 4 of those games. Amazing that I just kept on going with it. I mean, the Giants just owned the Rockies. If you look at that stat, I forget what it is now. Well, before the series, it was like 11-4 or something, or 13-4, or I don't remember. But they added 4 games to that, and I thought maybe they would go into Arizona and win the game, but not hit the ball. And I did like that under, and didn't play it because that was my lean, but it did go over. So, and a good friend of ours was texting me that he was on that over, so I'm glad that he was. What happened there last night? Giants won 6-5. They pretty much all early runs. 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and then 1 in the ninth. Let's just take a quick look to see what the pitches did. Rondon pitched 4.1 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Henry, 6 hits, 4.2 innings. So neither pitcher went far, and that's there you go. Once these bullpens go into it, and neither bullpen is great, there you go. But Henry had 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. 3 of those were home runs. So that was yesterday. Could be more of the same. This game, the way I read that for yesterday's recap for that game, kind of is like the script for this game. If you think about it, like I said, Cobb's Road is a 5.16. This total might be a look. Might be something that we could add to our card later. The last, when we have 2 games left. Thanks for joining me, guys. I know it's a little hard capping the end of the year. I know I'm a little bit I'm hesitating, and I don't have all my facts out there. But during the year, I just remember from the night before, and it's just like you kind of and for what you capped, and you're just adding up more runs, more stats to it. It's easy to cap and to talk about. But at the end of the year, man, like I said, I was scrambling for these games. And I didn't have all the lineups. I wasn't sure about certain pitchers. So what are you going to do? Thanks for bearing with me. It's something new for me to be doing these games by myself. So it's good. It's good practice. Hope everybody doesn't get too annoyed me being a little hesitant sometimes. So we talked about that game. We only got 1 left. Montgomery's pitching for the Cardinals. Now, we all talked about, of course, against the Dodgers. Montgomery against Clay and Kershaw. A nice matchup. Listen, we all know what Montgomery did after the Yankees let him go. That chip on his shoulder has served him well throughout the year. But lately he's been lately he hasn't been pitching as good. Like again, it's the end of the year. Um, he's on a team that needs these wins. The Dodgers now are just coasting. They're at 104 wins. They had the division locked up. They had the Dubai locked up for a while. So there's nothing really we could say against the Dodgers. But this game today, I kind of like the over. Let's see. Montgomery has given up a few earned runs. This is my notes. Was Montgomery gave up a few earned runs his last outing, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks versus the Reds, and his last 2 starts weren't great. The Dodgers do hit lefties. They hit everybody. It's funny when they hit lefties, hit righties, they hit it all. But Montgomery, listen, he's averaging 5 strikeouts a game. His last 10 average is 5.9 strikeouts per game. 17.3 outs he's recorded. Let's see, hits allowed 4.93 is his average for the year. His last 10 is right there, 4.9. Earned run allowed. Let's see. His last 10, he's only averaging a little over 2 earned runs for the year, 1.8 his last 10. So Montgomery has pitched well. He lost his last start against the Reds 3-0. 5 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, 2 walks. Before that, September 13th, he lost against the Brewers, 8-4, 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 earned runs. So he's given up 3 earned runs and 4 earned runs. 3 earned runs and 4 earned runs his last 2 starts. The start before that, he won in Washington, then he won in Chicago, won in Atlanta, won in Chicago, won in Colorado, won in Milwaukee, won against the Yankees. The last loss before his last 2 was August 31st against the Royals. He lost 8-6. So those was his last 10. But he's lost 2 out of the last 2 out of the last 2 games he's pitched, and before that he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. So 7-3 his last 10 games, and like we said, he's pitching great as a Cardinal. I can see these runs being scored today in this game. I kind of like this over. I put it to the side in case I want to see how my day was going, but it's a definite lean for me. Over 7.5 for the Dodgers is definite lean for me. So, do I have a look for the Yankees? You're on the team total over 4-5. Yeah. Okay, wait. Let me go back to that. You love Monty, but I think Kershaw day might be a big comeback day. Yeah, I'm leaning over in that game. It's at 7.5, and I just think that it could be Kershaw still does, like DeGrom, does give up those runs sometimes, even when he's pitching well. And like Scherzer, gives up that more like Scherzer and DeGrom, because they both give up that home run every once in a while. But I wouldn't bet the Cardinals to win this game. And I did bet the Dodgers. My Dodgers run line was the lean that I didn't play last night. But I like your look, and I think the Dodgers would have would probably win, but I do like that over 7.5. The Yankees, I don't have a play in the Yankees, but I did like that over, and I think the team total over 4-5 is a good play. The Yankees, what did I have? What did I say about them? Let me just see if I have anything that I can help you with. Listen, I'm not big on Drummond. We know what he's done this year. He was hurt. He's come back, but Pivetta is been giving up a lot of runs, a lot of earned runs. He has a versus the Yankees, Rocco, a 9.64 ERA. He's pitched 18 2/3 innings and given up 20 earned runs. That's amazing, man. I almost think I wrote that wrong, and I got to double check that one. But that just seems like a lot, but it could be. And I went off that page with the last 10 with the schedules, but I like the over in that game too, so I can see the Yankees scoring 5 runs. I like the over. I mean, the Red Sox are getting on base. last couple of games they've been hitting some, getting some runs and hitting some balls there. I do like that over in that game, and I like the Yankees to win. So the 4.5, I would definitely recommend. It might be something I would add today. But yeah, Rocco, I like your looks. I like your plays. I could see the games you play on, kind of a little bit about how you cap. And that's really for me, guys. What I look at a lot, I don't follow guys in their play. Most of my plays are made before I even go on to anybody's show and see. I'm not big on. I don't really follow too many people in Major League Baseball because it's a sport that I love, and it's a sport that I've had success over the last 4 or 5 years with. So as well as hockey, but nothing like baseball. So I don't really follow that many people, but I love talking about capping. I love to see what you're on because you can tell a lot if you follow like a lot of cappers and see the way they cap and what the stuff they talk about, and you get an idea of different things. I think that helps us out a lot with capping. I have a whole thing. I got pages and pages of stuff on capping that I'm trying to put together in a cohesive thing. Of course, that means I have somebody helping me do that. Just to translate my writing is one thing. So it's not it's not the best, right? But that's the old Catholic school. Most of us don't write too well, even though we went to Catholic school where they drilled penmanship into your brain. But back when I'm so old, they used to hit you with the damn ruler. So, but let me get let us get off this for today. We have been on. I don't even know how long we've been on. Oh, an hour and 11 minutes. Good. We've been on for a while. There was no rush today. Yesterday, I rushed through, and I was all off yesterday. I made a million mistakes with all those pitching changes and all those lineups. And yesterday was not a great broadcast. Hopefully today was a little better. Today, my bets are Brewers over 7.5 minus 115. Brewers team total over 4.5 minus 120. The Blue Jays minus 105. The Braves minus 130. The Mets over 6.5 minus 119. My leans are Yankees over 7.5 and team total over 4.5. I'm going to get to the window with one of those. I mean, it almost feels like either they both hit or neither one would hit. In a way, like I don't see a 5-1 ball game, 5-0 ball game, or 5-2 ball game that the Yankees would win. But I think Rocco, I think you're on something. I think that team total over 4.5 is really the play in that, and I will definitely be looking at that. The other play I'll be looking at is this over in the Dodgers. Something about that game, 7.5. I might get to the one that was late at night. And the dog of the day, now it's a lean still, but my lean would be the Rockies team total over 4.5 plus 115. That is a look that I like a lot. Because of, like I talked about, Darvish and his record in Coors Field, and how the Rockies have hit him even at the Padres, where the Rockies, on the road, they usually don't hit anybody, right? So that team total over might be a play for me. But plus 180, the Rockies to beat them again, not out of the realm. We'll see how we do early and take it from there. But those are my plays. Those are the two leans. Will be the Rockies team total over and the Yankees team total over. You talked me into it. I'm going to officially add to the game Yankees team total over 4.5. Let me join my buddy Rocco Rogers. A true low bag, somebody we love to add to the family or the low bag family. Okay, but Rocky, you have a good day. I'm getting out of here tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before you bet, DJ Big Boss and myself, we will be doing the late games in the NFL. Week 3, some interesting games tomorrow. It's just Monday night. Giants, Cowboys. I got some plays already for tomorrow. One play I'll tell you right now is I think the Bengals have remembered last year's Jet game. and I have them first half -3, full game minus. I think first half might have been 2.5, but full game -5. I bet it earlier in the week, and that's the one game I'm on. I'm on a couple games over 47 in the Eagles game. But I'll be putting those out. We'll be talking about all the games tomorrow. So come and join us, 3:30. Big DJ, Big Boss, and myself. And next Saturday, we will be back at 12 o'clock. I'll be doing some lives during the week with baseball. We got about, 10 games left or so. So we'll just keep on hammering baseball to the end. It's been a great year, and I love to see that everybody hasn't forgotten about it. So you guys have a great day. Good luck. Good day with your bets. Good luck with your bets. And this is DommyGun Rici for Who Bangin Sports Talk. Light it up, which is time for that to be done now. I will see you tomorrow at 3:30. Thanks, everybody.